have been very kind and generous in mixing music. So
yeah, I meant it kind of more along the lines of, you know, the musician doing the live performance versus, you know, actually not going out and gigging, and you know, when you're looking to increase your fan base, which is really what you want, because you want people to listen to your music and you want them to like it and enjoy the experience of listening. I mean, do you think that they're wrong to say, well, the only way to get anywhere is only if you go out and gig live? If it, you know?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you on that. It's just a tough world, you know.
Yeah.
It's you keep yourself confident, and just keep going. I mean, if it's your life, if it's something you want to do in your life, just keep going, and eventually you'll get somewhere, wherever it is, you know.
Yes. Do you ever get frustrated when you're writing music and you think, oh, I'm onto something really good here, and then suddenly it all stops for a little bit?
Yes, I'd say so. I've had quite a lot of problems recently where things have not quite happened, and there's been a lot of reasons for that, and obviously one of them is probably just that I was burnt out, you know, and that does happen. It's only really until recently that I managed to actually get my heart and mind back into music, and I actually have you and Sundown to thank for, because
oh, don't blame it on me.
Oh no, I'm not. It's got nothing to do with blaming at all.
Nothing to do with me. If it all goes wrong, it wasn't anything to do with me.
Don't you worry about that. No, absolutely.
If it all goes right, that's a different matter.
No, I mean, it's in terms of just being inspired, you know. I mean, even though with the likes of Second Life, you know, it's little things like that where it gives you so much incentives. It gives you new ideas, you know, to do things, and before you know it, you're back into it, and it's such a good feeling once you do get back in. The project, yeah. The projects that I've done just literally recently, I feel absolutely fantastic about them. You know, I just really feel as if, right, you know, finally, it's good to go. So. Yeah.
So Chris, tell me.
Yes.
What have you got in the near future lined up?
Well, I mean, there's quite a lot of things going on right now. Unfortunately, just a couple of months ago, one of my former record labels decided to close its doors for the last time, which meant that it actually put me in a really awkward predicament about what I was going to do with my back catalogue of albums. But I obviously took it into my advantage, and because it was an exclusive contract, it fell back into my hands, so I could do something with them. Yeah. And finally, just literally on Friday, the 13th, being irony as it is, that I finally was able to release one of my albums, which is called The Time Bell, and it's now literally under my name. It's on CD Baby. It's on my website. It's an album which I did back in 2006. But I'm so happy to. Well,
you have control back again, don't you? Which allows you to.
Yes, absolutely. I can do it.
So you are now Christopher Walmer, musician extraordinaire, electronica, and also marketer and distributor.
I'm a man of many talents, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's always probably an artist's dream to actually have everything, you know, to own everything, because usually in a world like this, there's always agreements that you have to oblige with, and several.
It's funny you say that, actually, because I think quite a lot of musicians are so desperate for somebody else to own their music and to do something with it But they forget the freedom we have as independent, unsigned musicians to make music when we feel like it, and to not be under any particular obligations. And although it's jolly hard work, and yeah, I expect you're finding out, I know it's jolly time consuming when you're promoting and marketing your own music, but there is a sense of achievement by doing that. Sometimes far more than if somebody else did it.
Well, for the time bowl, definitely. It was probably something I really needed, you know, because it was kind of like my kickstart. It was something to get me back on the right track. And in the future, going back to your question, my plans are obviously to relist the albums that were delisted from my back catalogue and get them back online and hopefully get somewhere with them. Obviously, future performances is still something I take very seriously and want to get into.
Yes.
One of the special announcements I'd like to actually make right now is I'm actually hoping to go to Denmark in August for a gig with a Second Life character called Torben Asp, who you know.
Oh, he lives just up the road from me.
I think you all live around each other.
I know, Denmark is so small, it's only about half an hour drive around the whole country. No, it's a little more than that. But Torben's a fantastic musician, and yes. Hey, that's so cool.
Isn't it? Yeah, so that's the idea right now. The event is called Live Days, and it's going to be around that area, and we're looking into it, so there you go. There's news for you.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, I'm really happy about that, because obviously I live in Denmark. Not far from Torben Asp. Oh, I sense some interesting electronica coming out of that visit.
Yes,
piece of good music. Oh, fabulous news!
Yes. We're going to try and make a really fantastic, big time electronica festival out of it. So we'll see how it goes. Definitely.
Wonderful. But you also have some things lined up for London too, don't you?
I do. Yes. It's again a Second Life event. It just shows you my happiness and commitment of being here. It is a Second Life jam in London. It's a private event. It will be broadcasted on Ustream, but if you actually do like to actually join the Second Life jam or just be a participant, then let me know and I will give you the details. And but the idea is we're going to have it on Ustream. I'll set up my own little web page for it as well. If you're on Facebook, then it's on there as well as the London Second Life Jam, so you'll get some of the information there about it. I'm really looking forward to it, and that's literally a week after Metameets. Which is
another thing you've been dragged into going to as well.
Metameets is another fantastic. Metameets sounds very fascinating. I want to be part of that because I've always been a keen supporter of that type of, the internet and the whole visual aspect.
But because it's a virtual worlds conference, and obviously, it gives us a chance as musicians to be able to offer a workshop saying, if you would like to learn about streaming and performing online, well, here's a jolly good place to start. We'll show you how you can do it and how you can benefit. But not only that, I think for hosts, managers, people who are interested in looking after musicians to help them expand their horizons with the music and venue owners. It's also, it's a very good learning experience because if you're coming to Metameets, you'll get to talk to both Chris and myself about streaming music, how to put on fantastic events, not only in a virtual world or online on the internet, but what we call mixed reality events. So that's, having a real life gig, but also managing to spread it on a global basis. And I think that's where we're very lucky, Chris, is because we've got that experience and we know that our our base is quite global because of Second Life.
Sure.
And I'm sure I rabbit on about this all the time about everything's global, but it's so important.
I think it's something that we all need to repeat every time. I think it's something that people may well miss out on. I think it's just an extraordinary, fantastic, surreal, virtual place, and I'll be very happy to promote and spread the word and help people in this field and see where it takes them. Because I think it'll be great.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm waiting for some questions for the audience, so while we're waiting for those to come in, I'm going to ask you something. What do you do when you're not making music or you're not using Second Life? What sort of other interests do you have?
I'm not. It's very weird though, because I don't really have any particular hobbies over interests as per se. When I actually relax from producing music, I'm actually still making music. I mean, my fingers just do not stop, and I do enjoy a little bit of reading, and I do actually like to walk a lot, and try and maintain a little bit of some sort of exercise.
Yes.
I do like to commute. I do like to go to various places around the UK as much as I possibly can, and that's pretty much it. I must lead a boring life. I can't think of anything.
No, I don't think so. I have the same sort of exercise. I get up and walk around, usually from the studio to the kitchen and back again during the day. But it's exercise, isn't it?
That's exercise, yeah.
What I did want to ask you, and this is my questions to you actually, is have you considered being a producer yourself and producing for other people?
Yes, absolutely. I've had a little while back now that I did produce somebody's full album actually, which did actually pretty well, which I'm quite excited and happy to say. I didn't really think at the time that it was gonna like do anything for me, but actually producing somebody else's material is something I would like to do, yeah. And if anybody out there would be interested in me producing them, just give me a call. Absolutely.
Fantastic. So Lisa Hermana would like to know, do you originate from Newcastle?
No, I don't. Nowhere near. It's a town called Hartlepool, which is actually about 40 miles away from Newcastle, and we obviously have a very similar accent for the joy.
Is there that much difference between the two then? Hartlepool and Newcastle. Yeah, there's a definite division.
There is actually a division, physically and mentally. Yes. We have. I think it's more thick with the Newcastle accent, and whereas we're more intelligent sounding. Anyway, so yes, Hartlepool. It's a coastal town. I've lived here for pretty much all my life. I did actually move away and lived in Manchester, England, for about 6 or 7 years, and then I returned back. I miss the sea. I love the sea. I was very honoured and privileged to take part in the tall ships race that happened last year, which ended up in Hartlepool at one point.
Fantastic.
And there was obviously, as anything, it was like the biggest event that Hartlepool's ever had, so we put on a very good party, and I was happy to create a special 3-part composition for them, and it was just a fantastic time, and I just love the town. It's just no two ways about it. A lot of people don't do that much these days. It's actually love their town. There's a lot of snobbery and hatred towards other people.